What is good, all of my current and inspiring nurses? I hope you all are having a wonderful day. I want to come at you because I've been getting a lot of questions regarding TEAS testing. It's something that I haven't covered because I honestly haven't taken TEAS in a long time. However, I've been doing some review of TEAS books, and I really want to kind of bring you my experience with TEAS as well as what you can do to make sure that you pass the TEAS the first time. Here's an introduction to exactly what the TEAS test is. So TEAS stands for Test of Essential Academic Skills. It's administered to health science program applicants to see if they're going to be able to handle the nursing program in school. So what exactly does that mean? You take your prerequisites, you think you're going to be good, you get to nursing school and you're not doing well. Why exactly is that? Because nursing school is a completely different game. I'm gonna be honest with you. I took my prereqs, I thought I was prepared, I went to nursing school and almost failed out my first year. I'm gonna be posting a video about that very soon if I haven't already posted that video, so make sure you keep an eye on the link up here in the corner where I talk about almost failing nursing school because I really wasn't prepared. So what does the TEAS exactly do? The TEAS predicts performance of candidates to aid educators in gaining knowledge if the applicant is strong enough to be accepted really into the healthcare profession. So I want to make a note also that the TEAS test actually just changed. The TEAS test that I took isn't the TEAS test that is today. The TEAS was updated in August of 2016 to include more relevant information. So if you're looking for study guides outside of watching my videos, make sure that those TEAS test books actually have the 2016 TEAS in it, because if you study the wrong guide and then you take the test and you fail, it was because the information is completely different now. So what exactly is on the TEAS examination? So the TEAS tests include 170 total test items. 20 of those questions that you take actually are for the TEAS professionals to figure out if the questions are too hard or not. So those questions are ultimately not scored. The testing in and of itself is broken down into 209 minutes over 4 different subjects. So each subject has a little bit of a different time range. And although the TEAS is broken down into those 4 categories, the test is scored as a single test with a composition score at the end, meaning that if you did really well in reading and math, but your science and your English and language usage sucked, you still have to take the whole test again. You can't take that portion in and of itself. The whole test is cumulative and you've got to take the test again if by chance you happen to fail a specific part of that test. So like I said before, the TEAS test is broken down into 4 categories. You have reading, you have your mathematics, you've got your science, as well as your English and language usage. So how exactly is that 150 questions broken down? So for your reading, you're going to have a total of 53 questions that you have to answer in 64 minutes. So you're going to have approximately 22 questions on key details and ideas. You're going to have 14 questions on structure and craft, and you'll have approximately 11 questions on integration of ideas and knowledge. Moving on to your mathematics, you're going to have 36 questions that they give you 54 minutes to answer. So 23 questions are going to be approximately 23, I would think, on algebra and numbers. Approximately 9 questions are going to be on your data and measurements. For the science portion, you're going to have 53 questions that you have to answer in 63 minutes. So approximately 32 questions on human anatomy and physiology, 8 questions on physical and life sciences, as well as 7 questions on scientific reasoning. And lastly, you're going to have English and language usage. That's going to be 28 questions that you have to answer in 28 minutes. So each question you only get a minute to answer, and that's approximately 9 questions on the conventions of standard English, 9 questions on language knowledge, and 6 questions on acquisition and vocabulary. So I get this question a lot. I have 28 questions I had to answer in 28 minutes. How am I supposed to do that? Can I get a little bit more time if I don't use that time on other things? No. That is the time that they give you. So if you, by chance, look up at the clock, you've only answered 2 questions and you've got 12 minutes left, you need to move a little bit quicker because the test will cut you off, and even though you didn't answer those questions, they'll obviously count them as zeros and you'll ultimately fail. So always be very capable of watching the clock as well as seeing how many questions you've answered, so you know if you can move more quickly or if you can slow down a little bit. So breaking down the test a little bit further, for your reading portion, it's going to cover a couple different things. You're going to have your supporting information, main ideas, your organization of passage, as well as your synthesis of information. So what are the things that you need to understand? You need to understand what the applicant read when reviewing different forms of written communications and sources of graphs. You need to understand structures, meanings, purpose of reading those passages, and you need to have the ability to contrast and evaluate the information that you read. I will be breaking down all of these a little bit more in regards to future videos. However, this is just a general overview of what is being covered in the TEAS test. So your mathematics portion, you're going to be covering operations and numbers, your algebraic applications, your interpretation of that data, as well as mathematical measurements. So what is it that, again, you need to know? You need to have the ability to solve problems of basic math, including fractions, proportions, as well as percentages. You need to have the ability to solve problems of unknown quantities. You need to answer questions based on information obtained from charts and graphs. And you need to be able to measure different dimensions and convert those measurements from one form to another. So for your science portion, of course, you're going to need to know your health body science. That's something that's huge in healthcare. You need to understand that. Pay attention during your anatomy and physiology classes. You need to understand physical and life science. You need to understand scientific analysis. So what does that mean? Understand your anatomy and physiology on different body systems, understand your chemistry and your biology, and understand scientific method and underlying scientific inquiry. And then lastly is your English and language usage portion of the test. So you need to understand the knowledge of spelling, punctuation, capitalization, understanding of grammar, as well as composition processes, and understanding the meaning of words based on context and knowledge of prefixes, suffixes, and roots. Again, I will be covering all these in a later video, so if you don't understand what the heck I'm saying and you're looking at yourself like this is horrible, don't worry, I will cover it. We'll get prepared together, I promise. So I get a lot of frequently asked questions in regards to ATI TEAS about what you need to bring with you, how you register, as well as how to prepare for it, things of that nature. I am going to go ahead and leave a link to my blog down below where I answer a lot of those frequently asked questions. Go ahead and head over there. If you have any additional questions though, I want you to feel free to ask them down below because I love answering them. I will be doing future videos breaking down every single topic as well as additional videos regarding test taking strategies. Go ahead and click that link up in the corner for test taking strategies because that'll ultimately help you when it comes time for you to take your test. I hope this general overview of ATI TEAS was helpful to you. I look forward to seeing you in future videos regarding this subject, and I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye!